Greetings, travelers. I'm Chris. Welcome to Lorespire. Today, I thought it would be fun to go through some of the frequently asked questions about the Wayward Realms. Alright, first, what is the Wayward Realms? The Wayward Realms is a new open-world fantasy RPG currently under development by the company Once Lost Games, led by legendary developers Ted Peterson and Julian LaFay. Let's see what a grand RPG is. In case you don't know, Once Lost Games is referring to the Wayward Realms as a new type of game or classification of RPG called the Grand RPG. So what do they have to say about that? We are creating our game with 4 pillars of focus in mind: choice, consequence, scope, and role-playing. We believe we can bring each of these in-game with more depth and interest than ever before, creating a first-of-its-kind Grand RPG. Hopefully they are able to do that, because that sounds frickin' phenomenal. Is there a main quest? What is the main quest? We have opted to not have a main quest in the traditional sense. We believe keeping the world very open for player perception interpretation will improve the overall role-playing experience. Instead, the player will encounter world events that they can choose to participate in or ignore. These world events will have effects on the world. We also have dozens of factions, both major and minor, that players can join, shaping their narrative and that of their allies and enemies. Which is a bit of a different approach, but basically it means that the main focus of this game is going to be what most of us have been doing whenever we play Skyrim for the last decade and a half. And that is pretty much just ignoring the main quest and doing all of the cool side stuff or mod stuff that is available. So what will combat be like in the Wayward Realms? Well, we've opted to blend the modern click-to-hit with mouse drag controls and the ability to switch between them as you go. You'll be able to block, parry, and kick with a variety of other movements and abilities. Will different weapon types be more effective than others? Yes! Weapons will have certain damage types, such as piercing or bludgeoning. These traits can be effective depending on the type of enemy you face in battle. Pretty standard fare, but still good to know that that will be there. What types of weapons will be in the game? They intend to have a wide range of weapons, including swords, daggers, axes, hammers, bows, slings, polearms, and crossbows. Additionally, one-handed weapons may be accompanied by a variety of defensive implements, such as shields and parrying daggers. Do enemies level with the player? And this is something that's very important to a lot of people. So enemies will not level with the player. It is fully expected that players may be outmatched in some battles and need to flee depending on their enemy's level, skills, and abilities. So that's good to know. I think I prefer it that way. Will there be firearms? No, there will not be any firearms or black powder weapons. What will spellcasting be like in the Wayward Realms? Our goal is to make magic varied and rewarding. You'll have a variety of battlefield and utilitarian style spells. We also want to allow players to customize the effects of spells, such as delivery or meta magics. Very cool. Love the sound of that. The more customization we can have for our magic, the better. What type of magic can we expect in the Wayward Realms? Players will be able to wield a variety of magic and create their own spells after having acquired the magical knowledge to craft them. Combat can include spells like Fireball or psychological spells meant to break your opponent's will. Non-combat spells include abilities to charm others in your favor or levitate over dangerous traps and hazards. Can the player create spells? Yes, we will have a robust spellcrafting system where you can mix and match to your heart's content. Now, we don't know exactly what this means because we just don't know enough about these systems yet, but I'm going to take a moment to speculate here. And we do know that there is going to be a method by which you find words of power or magic words or something along those lines. You might learn them from a hermit, or maybe you find them on an old scroll or tablet or something. And anyways, pure speculation. But maybe you find that word and you find a particular word for the range of the spell. Like this word gives your spell a range of 40 feet or whatever a long range might be considered. Okay, and then you find another word for fire or word for ice or word for poison or whatever the actual effect of the spell is going to be. So you combine those two words, and if it's ice, then you have a long-ranged ice attack spell. You know, if it's poison, you have a long-ranged poison attack spell. Maybe you find a power word for an AoE, and so then you can turn your long-range ice spell into a long-ranged AoE ice spell by adding that extra magic word. Just a bit of speculation for what it could be like. It probably will end up being something completely different, but whatever it is, I'm excited for it. It's going to be awesome, I'm sure. Okay, so let's take a look at characters and skills. So how many playable races are there? There are 8 playable races planned for the full release of the Wayward Realms. They are humans, goblins, orcs, ogres, fae, cambions, elves, and dwarfs. So some of your standard fare here, and then some races that you maybe don't get to play so often in games. Personally, I am greatly looking forward to playing an ogre. I think it'll also be really cool to play a goblin, and cambion and fae also pretty high on the list of races that I would like to try to play as. Will there be racial bonuses? We pretty much already know that that is confirmed. How will leveling and raising skills work? Unlike some RPGs where you simply earn enough XP to raise your level and then choose what skills you'd like to advance, we plan on building our systems around your actions. There is no player level, but rather your skills individually level up through use, with their maximum level being dependent upon whether they belong to the limited selection of skills the player can pick during character creation. This places a great importance on how you play and allows for more unique playthroughs. I love this. This is going to be great. Will you gain perks and abilities as you raise your skill? We plan on having abilities you unlock as you raise your skill level. These would be action-based abilities instead of simple modifiers. A couple examples are Warcry as evolution of taunt, or parrying projectiles as an evolution of parrying. Awesome. Anything that makes combat more active and gives you more solutions to deal with enemies, I'm definitely all for that. Will there be any beast races? And I know a lot of you are going to be bummed about this, but they do not have any plans for any playable beast races currently. There are some that do exist within the lore of the game, and the player will have the ability to experience therianthropy. Now, I think that this right here is actually one of the most interesting plans for them to include in the game, and that is, will there be romance? And they were originally not planning on having romance in the game, but it is something that they are now pursuing. They had told the community that they were not going to do it unless they found a way to do it properly, and they now believe that they have found a solution. So they weren't going to do it, now they think they can do it, which is quite intriguing. I'm definitely anxious to see how they approach that, what their solution is. I think that this could be a really cool aspect of the game, and I'm definitely interested to learn more. Can the player craft in the game? Yes, however, we are very much not a crafting-focused game. Crafting gives the player slight advantages, such as replenishing ammunition by creating their own arrows, or creating bandages to alleviate injuries. We also have enchanting and alchemy crafting. Okay, so will there be stealth in the game? Yes, stealth is one of the core gameplay pillars, coming with many abilities varying from assassination and poisoning to completely silent moving. Will there be lockpicking? Yes, though they want there to be other ways to get at secured items, such as being able to break open a container at the cost of causing quite a ruckus. Will there be pickpocketing? Yes, players can acquire the ability to remove and add to NPC inventories, provided they are not caught. Will there be co-op? And this is currently an ongoing discussion, and they would love to support a drop-in, drop-out co-op mode so players can experience the Wayward Realms with friends. So basically, we don't really know. I'm kind of hopeful on this one, though. I think it would be extremely awesome if it were available. What kind of graphics will the game have? Things like landscapes and environments, items, weapons, and armor will have a more photorealistic look to them, whilst our characters will have a more stylized look to avoid the uncanny valley effect. A strong art style is vital to ensuring the longevity of a video game, as opposed to trying to make everything true to life. Will there be mod support? Mod support is something that we have kept in mind and have been interested in since we started development. Modding is incredibly important to us and something we would definitely like to support if we are able to. Now, I will tell you, if you go into their Discord and you talk to the developers on there, They pretty much say that it will be a thing, that there's going to be mod support. So I would expect this, even though they do leave a little bit of wiggle room here, I would expect this to be a definite yes, or as close to definite as you can imagine it to be at this point. What will the game's rating be? We are developing this game with a mature audience in mind. There will be nudity, blood, and darker themed quests and storylines. We will not be including anything of a graphic, sexual nature, but we do recommend this game for audiences of at least 17 plus years old at this time. How large will the map be? And the game map will be over 521,000 square kilometers in size, which is 2.5 times the size of Great Britain. So it's going to be vast, enormous, gigantic. Can you view your character in third person? Matsy, this one's for you. And yes, you will have the option to switch between first and third person viewpoints in this game. Okay, there are a ton more questions in the FAQ. I will link to the FAQ so that you can look through absolutely all of the questions if you would like. Thanks so much for the support in watching this video. And if you want to see our recent interview with the creative producer of the Wayward Realms, you can check that out right here. This has been Chris with Lorespire. Be well, my friends.